What is going on, guys? Charles Weinraub AKA the Handsome Homebuyer. I got my man Garrett Guttenberg, not Guttenberg, although they're related on this one. He is Mr. Flood Insurance. He writes more flood insurance than anybody in New York State, but that's not what this podcast is about. This podcast is basically about every nonsensical, pandemonious thing out there. Super entertaining with an educational component. We appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe. See you on the next one. I'm just warning you right now, probably for the foreseeable future, you're fucked in the stink department, dude.
I'm glad I'm here.
Because if I'm eating healthy...
All right, so that's what I gotta do. Just put like pizza on your desk. You'll start eating it.
Are we recording this right now?
Yes.
All right, good. Because this should make it into the podcast.
Okay.
So obviously I changed my diet, right? So now I'm doing, like, I went to the supermarket Monday night. I got got 2 of those rotisserie chickens. I got 3 avocados, a ton of fruit, that boil in the bag rice shit that you don't have to boil in the bag. You just throw it in the microwave, 90 seconds. It's fucking fantastic. Let me tell you, that shit's a life changer. I wish I would have invented that. And I feel like I'm dropping weight by the day, but this is bad for you because...
I'm definitely gonna order a pie.
No, I'm not going to do it.
Throw it on your desk.
You see this?
Dude, say that now.
This is a fucking model of self-control.
You'll probably be good for 3 weeks. Dude, I know your weaknesses.
You know what? That's fucked up,
I
Libby.
know your weaknesses.
This is a model of self-control.
Is that fucked up, or is like suffocating with your farts?
Definitely in the podcast.
I feel like a real friend would support you and not put pizza on your
Without
desk.
a doubt. Without a doubt.
But you could do it at least once.
What's more important? Because it's not really affecting
What's more important is not suffocating. Dying.
This isn't really affecting your health. If anything, you're inhaling a little part of me, which you're taking with you.
I could be.
Why don't you invent?
Brain cells are dying.
Hey, why don't you invent like a filtered underwear or something?
No, they have those already.
Stop.
A buddy of mine actually.
Wait, look like a little capsule.
It's like a mask, but you change the filter. Same concept.
I have it.
Stop.
You have
dead ass serious.
Filtered underwear.
I mean, listen, I am known to literally have some of the worst farts in existence.
Yes,
so my buddy, my friend of like 10 plus years, sends me a pair of these underwear. So what there is they line them with charcoal. Like there's like a charcoal filter.
So it's a filter.
You don't change it, but essentially like there's the test where the guys like this is literally the advertisement. The guys kick back like this. There's a girl whose nose is like this close to his asshole and he rips and she's like, can't smell anything.
They have thought of almost everything.
Fucking awesome, right? Fucking awesome.
I was thinking like the little filter on the mask. You know, you could change out the little filter. It just like kind of goes with the pocket.
This went in a direction you were not.
I mean, that would be
I wasn't
good.
thinking total charcoal.
That would be
underwear,
good.
like,
That would be good from a business standpoint because you can sell the filters. But
Right.
like, would you?
How do you wash charcoal underwear?
You just fucking wash it. I don't know. I
That
mean,
sounds dangerous.
I never really wore it because it kind of felt like I was wearing a diaper
Was
and
it
I'm
like
not going to
80
run around.
pounds? Like,
No, it wasn't. It wasn't uncomfortable. It was just fucking weird. It was awesome, but weird at the same time.
Did you ever test it?
the fact
No,
that
I didn't
The fact that you'd rather just blow up the office and not even try them.
Yeah,
that's
I don't
weird.
care. No, I don't care. I don't even think. You know what? Because this is bullshit. Because then there's certain times where Levy just rips. Like Levy will go on a tangent and rip. If anything, he's upset that he's not farting as much as I am. Like he's upset that he's losing the battle.
It's facts.
This office
See?
this office is different than mine. Like it is. There's
Just
all,
like, what,
there's
in
all
general?
women in my office.
About farting?
Oh no, we have some women.
No, but like there's all women in my office. Like
You can't fart in there.
women don't fart. You know?
That's what I used to think. I used to think women don't fart and they don't poop, but I really learned that that's not true.
I don't know. It's never been confirmed.
No, it's been
They're
confirmed.
actually worse. It's not confirmed because they're actually worse.
No, I think that women are anything that's stereotypical that men do, women are way worse. They're just much better at concealing it.
They care.
Yeah, so they're just like, like women are supposed to be, men are supposed to be the horn dogs. No, it's definitely the other way around.
Bathrooms are nastier than men's. It's gross.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
bro, with Captain Permit.
That's true.
With Captain Permit, we've done like the Hofstra houses.
Yeah.
I've walked into some of these places in the early days of Captain Permit.
Yeah.
These fucking girls are
Oh
disgusting.
yeah, sorority houses.
Bro, have you ever seen
Unbelievable.
mold growing in a toilet? I didn't even think that was possible until I walked into a Hofstra girl's house. And I'm looking at the toilet bowl and I'm looking at this one girl that's in there and there's fucking beer bottles and all kinds of shit everywhere. And she's just like, oh, I'm going to clean up. I'm like, what the hell if I was a guy, I mean, all right, well, I've never been drunk, and I'm not 17 anymore, so it's a little bit tough. So I'll ask you because you're closer. If you were a guy walking into a sorority house and you were about to like fucking, get it in, and the place was fucking disgusting with mold growing out in the toilet, would you be grossed out or would you still do the deed?
In college, you do a deed. In college, you don't care about that stuff.
Really?
Come on, you're at a frat house, sorority house. It's already messed up as it is. People puking everywhere.
Where'd you go to school?
Albany.
So did I. Hold on. I was gonna say, if you go to Albany, you're just stepping over things on a consistent basis.
It's just a normal weekend.
I miss Albany.
It's not even a normal weekend. It's a normal weekday.
When did you go to Albany?
When did I?
Yeah.
Graduated 2012.
Hold on. You know who also gets the deed done? Every time, without exception. Captain Permit. 516-513-8838. If you need plans, you need permits, you need anything permit related, we got you tip to tip, coast to coast, Queens, not actually in Queens, but the Queens border, all the way out to Montauk and everything in between. 516-513-8838. And obviously, the same goes for me, although I go past that when it comes to buying houses that smell like fucking cat pee, dated from 1960, 6 inches of mold on the wall. Levy, what else am I forgetting?
You got it.
I don't really give a shit. If you have a piece of property that you want to sell to me in a way that I can make some money and make the world a better place, fucking A, 516-777, sold. All that has to be in, by the way. That has to be the intro. That's more important than your kid, because that whole farting, sexing thing was probably some of the most entertaining shit next to popping this stuff off last week. This guy. Oh!
The fact that you have the pair of underwear just made it even better.
I
thought I came up with an invention.
That
And you're like, I already have it.
You know what I'm
like,
pissed off about? I feel like now after this we have to go on Amazon. We have to order a pair, and I legitimately have to test it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Case study, dude. You got to wait
Levy,
for a straight week.
The question is this, and I'm going to ask you in front of the world. Do you love me and what we do enough
No. I already know where this is going.
to be the tester?
Answer's no.
Come on.
No.
I would do it for you.
Dude, I'm behind this camera for a reason. I'm not in front of no one else. knows where I am right now. I could be on the left or right. I could be out the window.
Makes a good point.
I think we need a camera for you.
No, I think it's fine.
No? In any event, so we're in our newly remodeled studio, courtesy of the Real Estate and Chill podcast boys, Kevin and James, Realty Connect, United Mortgage. That was a banger. I hope you guys checked that one out. I got my cardboard cutout now. I'm very excited. Trump has one. Now I have one.
Wait, I just got that reference. I edited that podcast yesterday.
What, Kevin James?
Yeah.
Together, you guys are, I guess, a middle-aged white comedian from King of Queens, right?
If you call him a white comedian,
Bro,
that clicked.
I even said from King and Queens.
Yeah, that
You know what? I didn't catch that until just now.
that just clicked. I edited it too. I was just like, all right, whatever.
As I was driving over, I'm like, don't these Kevin? I'm like, what are their names? Because I didn't look. So I look on social media. I'm like, oh, Kevin and James. I'm like, oh, that's kind of funny. Isn't there a comedian or somebody named Kevin James? There you go.
I just clicked. Wow.
From Long Island, yeah.
Yeah. He plays at that place in Huntington all the time.
Yeah, Paramount. I saw
Yeah,
him.
the
Yeah, he's
Paramount.
good.
I didn't put two and two together. I know exactly who he is in his history, but I'm like, oh, I got it.
I guess that wasn't as good of a joke as I intended it to be. In any event, today's guest, dude, you're the man. You've been super supportive, man. I really appreciate that from the get-go.
Listen, you were doing everything I've been doing, just on a bigger level. So I was happy to jump on board.
Yeah, you're a multifaceted guy. Well, definitely not everything. You are an attorney. I want to be an attorney.
Well, legally, I'm not an attorney.
Well, you went to law school.
Yeah.
I always wanted to go to law school.
Yeah.
This way I can like read my own contracts and shit, even though I really don't want to. But I just feel like there's certain times where I'm like, I should just be doing this myself for the conversation I'm having with XYZ attorney.
You don't have the time, man. I'm telling you. You don't have the time.
No, that's true. No, it's true. But I kind of like to know a little bit of everything.
100%.
Right? So you went to law school, graduated, didn't take the bar. Ended up getting to the insurance business.
Yep, went right into insurance.
Number one insurance brokerage as far as writing flood policies in the state of New York, correct?
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Largest flood insurance coastal agency in the New York State. Yeah.
In the new state?
In New York State.
Oh, in New York State.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's a new one. I didn't know
Probably tri-state. Yeah.
Developer, you flipped, you've built, you've done all that
Real
stuff.
estate, we do everything.
And recently, the newest venture is Seaview Adjusting, which absolutely makes sense because, I mean, you're a Navy SEAL in the sense, in the insurance sense, because
I never thought of myself as a Navy SEAL insurance, but that sounds way better.
that's what I told that lady we talked to the other day. I said, listen, this guy is I think I called you a sniper. I'm like, this guy is an absolute freaking sniper. I'm like, he's the trifecta.
Insurance sniper.
Yeah, I'm like, just think about this. He's the trifecta for a second. An attorney, and I might have made this up, but it sounded fucking awesome. That you practice insurance law. That's obviously a lie.
I mean, I study insurance law.
All right, that's not a lie. It's
I
only
write
half
insurance
a lie.
contracts as an insurance broker.
So I'm like, this is the guy
Yeah.
you want. I'm like, insurance law, He owns the fucking largest flood insurance company, writer of flood insurance in the fucking state of New York. And he's the man. Like, this is the guy that you want. And now he has his own, he's a public adjuster. So this is exactly the guy that you want. Like, there's nobody else that's going to get you more money for this thing, period. End of story.
Yeah, I mean, it was a natural transition to go from insurance to actually on the retail side handling claims, because I've been doing it for the last decade as a broker.
Yeah.
And not getting paid for it, and watching adjusters totally ruin claims and piss my clients off.
Without a doubt. I've, with that said, Garrett Guttenberg. Oh, you're also a philanthropist, which
It's
I fucking...
all right, so it's Guttenberg.
Fuck.
I know why you said Guttenberg.
Everyone says Guttenberg.
Steve Guttenberg, the
Yes.
actor, is my cousin.
No, he's not.
He is.
Really?
He ruined my last name.
You're
for
also
the entire
Jewish, which is
family.
another bonus.
I'm Jewish,
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
but we celebrate Christmas too, so it's weird.
Oh, because your wife's Catholic?
No.
What? Is your mother Catholic?
No, my family's all Jewish.
Okay.
We grew up very close to like a lot of Italian neighbors and everything. We always celebrated Christmas together.
You could be Italian,
And
but
my-
the Jews and Italians are like the same.
My brother married a Greek girl, so we just always celebrated Christmas, which I love. I love Christmas.
You ever have saganaki?
What?
Saganaki.
What is that?
It's Greek cheese, and it's the best fucking thing in the world. You take it and they fry it, so it's like hard but gooey in
Oh,
the middle.
yes. I didn't know that was what the name
Yes,
was.
saganaki.
Saganaki.
You ever had saganaki?
No, it sounds Japanese.
The lamb is the best thing. Greek Easter.
Oh,
So
yeah?
my
I love all of it.
sister-in-law's father was from Greece. He walked around with the beads, barely spoke English.
What beads?
They walk around with beads. They hold these beads, like good luck beads. And you'll notice old Greek guys always have them in their hands.
Really?
Yeah. They're always in their pockets, and they play with them. You have to, like, I mean, how many old Greek guys you hang out with?
None.
Dude, so
One. I was.
ask him about the beads. He's got
I
them.
broke up with my ex-girlfriend. I kind
Yeah.
of lost him in that breakup. But yeah, I hung out with a Greek guy who was like 6'8". You ever met a 6'8"
Nah.
Greek guy?
They're always, like, little guys.
You ever see Troy the movie?
Yeah.
You know the opening scene where he like Brad Pitt jumps up and stabs that guy, and he's like fucking.
Yeah, the giant. Yeah.
That's literally what the guy looks like, only with hair. It's exactly what the guy looks like. I'm like, bro, I can't even believe like they manufactured you, like you've been built like that.
I've never seen a Greek man, like, over, like, 5'7", 5'8". They're always these little guys.
No.
They all own the diners. Like, yes, this guy owned the diner, and, like, he was retired. Every Easter, he'd get the lamb. He brings it. I'd help him get out of the trunk.
Oh, like you went to the place and
They put it
like
up
he
for
said,
hours.
"That's my lamb," and they like picked the lamb
Yeah.
up and slit its throat.
I wasn't there, but, like, I think they give it to him. You know, the head's cut off, and it's skinned, and they put it out for hours, and you just cut the meat off and eat it as it's getting cooked. It was my favorite day.
It sounds amazing. The only thing I think about is like my
Yeah.
buddy Val is Russian Orthodox, so they have the same holidays.
Yeah.
So his brother goes to Brooklyn every year for their Christmas. 'Cause
Yeah.
their Christmas is a different day, and like they apparently they have these places where like they're running around, and you're like, "That's the one I
Yeah,
want."
chickens, you get
and they,
anything.
and then he said he's bringing it home, and the body's like steaming in the trunk, and they haven't cooked it yet.
No,
just
it's wild stuff.
steaming it. Yeah, no, I can't do it. So that's the only thing.
Yeah.
But I love Greek food. I love all food.
Me too. I could go around the world to eat anything.
Back to you.
Back to me.
So this is the biggest tangent podcast we've ever done. It's been like farts, charcoal underwear, food,
Yeah.
6'8" Greek
Jews celebrate
guy.
Christmas. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Oh yeah, so circle back to that. So I mean that's amazing because you get 8 presents and then you get presents for Christmas.
Yeah, it was just like one day we all go to my brother's house and everyone just gives each other Christmas gifts and stuff. There's always the kids. They loved it.
Do you still get the Hanukkah gifts though?
Yeah, we do Hanukkah.
Oh, that's a fucking win.
Yeah.
Your parents are awesome.
But now I'm a parent, so I'm just the one getting hosed because I'm buying all the gifts now.
I mean, I guess it's only fair.
Yeah, it worked out, growing up.
Hopefully there's no other birthdays or anniversaries around that time because then you really get
My
slammed.
birthday's always Hanukkah, and then it's 2 weeks before Christmas.
Oh, so you get stiffed.
Always shafted.
So you get shafted.
But my wife,
Your whole life.
she's a Valentine's Day baby.
Okay.
Her birthday's on Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
so
but that's fine.
she made it very clear, like when we started dating, it's 2 separate holidays.
Dude, Valentine's
Very
Day is not a real fucking holiday.
I know it's a Hallmark, bullshit holiday, but
Do you celebrate Valentine's Day?
Yes. I relate. My wife's born 2 days before.
so
Do you actually celebrate Valentine's Day though?
Well, if in another life, if I wasn't with my wife,
I
no, hell
yeah,
no.
I
No
could
way,
tell.
There's no point.
Just by the way your arms are crossed, and by the way your arms are looking fucking jacked right now. Good for you. I see. This is one of those moments where we should focus on the camera on your arms.
It's fine. I'm glad.
He is looking a little big.
He is.
Thank you.
He's been lifting. He's been heavy deadlifts early, like 5 a.m. What time did you lift today?
4:45, something like that.
You're a beast.
Thank you.
Now he's been riding the bike too. He's getting lean.
I'm trying.
Look at him.
Trying.
Before I had kids, I used to look like you.
Should I have kids?
They're good. Yeah, it's fun.
You sure? Yeah, you have two and you're going for a third?
got two
Wait,
boys.
you're getting a third right now? What's going on?
Not. There's no plans on that right now.
There's
I got a 3-year-old and a 6-month-old.
I heard a rumor.
You heard a rumor?
I think I heard it from you because I wouldn't have made this up that you're thinking about a third.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Or
it's
your
not-
wife wants a third.
It's not like the shop's closed. We just haven't really talked about it. I mean, I'm from a household of 4. She's from 2. So we always thought 3 was like a good number. But
Just to average it out?
yeah, I'm a numbers guy. So everything I do is like the numbers have to make sense.
I'm from a family of 3, and it was fucking nuts, man. Like I don't know how my parents did it.
We had 3 boys and a girl. I mean, it just worked. My sister never had a boyfriend that we knew about.
No.
She's the youngest.
Jesus. How old is she now?
She's 26.
Is she allowed to have a boyfriend now?
Yeah, but like I think she's still in the mentality of like not telling us, me and my brothers, because every guy she ever brought around got threatened by every one of us, like
Are
independently.
you the oldest?
No, I have an older brother.
Okay.
And a younger brother.
Wait, so you're how old?
I'm 34.
So you're 34. Okay.
My
Your older brother is what?
He's 10 years older than me. He's 44.
44. Okay.
And my younger brother's 2 years younger than me.
Okay. And then she's
And
26.
then she's 26. Yeah. So
Same mom and dad?
the 3 of us.
Yes.
My older brother has a different father.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
I was going to say, dude, that's a stretch.
yeah, my 2 brothers are crazy. So like, they would just straight up threaten every guy that came over, and I would just be like the low key like.
they'll just look at me. I'll sue the shit out of you, bro. That's your thing. Like they're
Yeah,
like, I'll
like-
kill you, but like, I'll sue the shit out of you.
Like don't listen to them. Like if I had to get involved, you're already dead. Doesn't matter.
That's
like
it.
doesn't-
IRS audits will
Yeah.
ruin your fucking life forever. That's
you'll
what you
never
do.
have, you never have credit.
Be like,
yeah,
yeah, that's the Italian influence. I'm the Jewish influence. I just sit there and I just ruin your financial future.
exactly.
That's what I do.
Yeah. So back to my last name because you pronounced it wrong.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It's Guttenberg. It didn't sound good on TV. So when my cousin Steve was an actor,
Gutenberg
they
sounds a
changed
little
it to Gutenberg.
Wait, what was he in? I don't
He's
have
an
it.
'80s guy, like Cocoon, Police Academies. He did all those.
Which guy was he?
Mahoney, the main guy.
Oh, fuck. That's awesome. That's your cousin?
Yeah.
Is he cool?
Yeah.
Really? Do you still see him?
I haven't seen him during the
Does
pandemic.
he come to Hanukkah and Christmas?
No, we do like family reunion in the city right before the pandemic.
Wow.
That dude can just capture a room in 3 seconds.
Really?
He's such a good speaker. It's like that's why he's a good actor.
What does he do? Like, what does he do now?
He married one of the young Fox reporters. She's my
Okay.
age. He's living in L.A.
How old is he?
He's almost 60 years old. He's 60 years old. Yeah, he married
60,
a 34
married a
year old.
34-year-old. I feel like that's how you do it.
Yeah, they don't have kids. They got a compound in L.A. and they have a place in the city, and they like go back and forth.
That sounds like a pretty fucking amazing life.
Yeah, and he's like on social media too. He's got some interesting. It's like weird. He's a weirdo, but like,
But you love him. He's family.
yeah, no, he's cool. But he screwed up my name, and I have to defend it every time someone says it wrong.
Fuck, hold on. Let me look at this. You're right. It is Guttenberg.
But Gutenberg just sounded better on TV.
Gutenberg does sound better.
Yeah.
It
Doesn't sound as
flows.
Jewish, I think. You know,
I mean, dude, it's Berg. It doesn't matter what you put before the Berg.
Hollywood. I don't know what they were
Like
doing.
Levy. Levy could be Levi Tehadaberg.
Yeah.
He's fucking Jewish.
Sure.
I mean, his last name's Tejada if you put the Berg at the end.
Guttenberg's a German town. My family's not German, so I don't even know how that came out.
They were German Jews.
My family's from Spain. Yeah,
What?
the Guttenbergs are from Spain, which is totally crazy too.
How long ago are we talking about here, though?
I'm 4th generation.
It's tough.
I'm just going over these movies that your cousins. I'm like, wow, he's all these movies.
Yeah, dude,
But
he's done so many movies, but I couldn't even tell you all of them.
Like, but see, you two guys give me hope for the future. Because, like, whenever I talk to, like, Levy about marriage and stuff, he's like, you could just tell, like, Levy's happy. Like, Levy's a happy married man. No other woman, if Levy's wife is listening to this, I could tell you right now, we're out in the world. Some very attractive women come in here on the podcast. Levy doesn't even look at them. It's like they don't even exist. It's like they're just, he's a happy guy. I get that vibe from you.
Yeah,
You're a
look.
very happy guy.
If you're gonna get married, you're doing it for a reason. If you just want to run around like an animal for the rest of your life, then don't get married.
Well, people get married for a lot of different reasons. A lot of them aren't the right ones.
That's my point.
Most of like societal pressure, kids,
guess.
they don't want to be single, like whatever, pick your poison.
Yeah,
Nobody likes to sleep in bed at night alone.
They get married for the wrong reasons. Yeah,
No, yeah.
that's a lot of people.
There definitely is something to like sleeping with a warm body next to.
Dude, have you been in wedding parties?
Yes.
How many times behind the scenes are guys like, someone should tell him not to marry? Like, everybody always says that.
I haven't been
You know?
in a lot of weddings, which I'm upset about because I fucking love going to weddings.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about the weddings that I've gone to. Yeah, a decent amount, at least 50% of the weddings that I've been in, it has been that many. I've been like, this ain't gonna fucking work.
That's what, yeah. So you know it, but like nobody tells them. You know, you can't tell them at that point. So it's like,
I don't think people are. I think people know. I think there's a lot. You ever have a conversation? Someone got divorced, and they're like, "When I was walking down the aisle, I knew it wasn't gonna work."
yeah. A lot of times, there's a kid involved, something. There's always like a reason that they have to.
Even no. I mean, yeah, that's different.
So it's the pressure, like you said.
I guess it's a number of different.
They're supposed
things.
to get married. Their parents got married.
Yeah, like
know?
so. I'm 41 years old. I meet people, and they're like, "You're not fucking married." I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Well, you're gonna be an old as shit dad." I'm like, "No, I won't." I'm like, I'm like, listen, there's two kinds of very, very, very wealthy men that I've seen out there. Yeah. There's the really wealthy men that like never saw their fucking kids and they work their whole life and their wives fucking hate them or they're divorced or whatever. And then there's the people that like really made it and at like 55 years old, anywhere north of 45 to like 60, they had kids and they're hanging out with their kids all the time and everything's fucking great. So I don't know. I don't think you can just automatically say you're going to be old as shit and throw your back out while you're trying to chase around an 11-year-old at 60.
Listen, you just got to, I mean, you're close. You're in that window, I think.
Oh, so now you're that guy? You're jumping on that
Well,
bandwagon?
I'm just doing the math, like so your kid's going to graduate college, right?
You think this is funny?
And just think how old you are,
I don't feel old. I feel freaking great.
I'll give you an example.
Yes.
My grandparents are still alive.
Okay, that's cool.
My grandfather's 92.
Wow.
My grandmother's 89.
Nice.
And my wife's grandfather's 92. Also, they're all walking around like better shape than like half the people I know. It's unbelievable.
Jews, bro. We're fucking built to last.
Dude, they're hanging out with my kids.
Which is awesome.
You keep waiting. You're never going to hang out with your kids' kids.
I can't believe that you're the guy that's jumping on that train.
No,
right?
because I think someone has to tell you. And I will always give you I'll always tell you the truth. I'll tell you too.
In insurance and in life, Garrett Guttenberg, I got it that time.
You're only going to get one answer from me. It's going to be a straight answer. No sugarcoating. Because you don't really have time for people to, give you bullshit. Even in my business. You're buying a house. You're writing a shit insurance policy. If it burns down, you're going to lose all your money. I'm not letting you do it.
What if I had kids somewhere between like 45 and 50? Is that terrible? Because you got to, think about this also.
50.
Think about this. Hold on. Let me say this for a minute. It's 2021, right? The vaccine's turning us all into superhuman people. One of the guys that works with me took the Johnson & Johnson. He said, I think there was juice in there. He's working harder than he ever worked in his entire life. So let's assume that we're all going to live to be like 120 now.
Did they just take that off the market?
Listen, don't tell him that because he's fucking crushing it out there right now. But I think you're right. They actually did.
Probably because it's turning him into whatever's going on over there.
The Hulk.
Yeah.
He's ripping out his shirts and shit now.
Sorry, I moved this.
That's okay.
All right.
It's your show.
If you ever notice, I can't sit still.
It's your show.
So I'm doing my best.
None of us can. Look at Levy. He's literally pacing.
Yeah.
He's anxious. He's anxiously.
I walk around with a headset in the office and I just walk around the whole
He's
office.
anxiously pacing.
Yeah.
But you got to assume people are living fucking into their hundreds now.
Man, my grandpa was 92.
There you go.
No health problems. Like
There you go.
he's old. He's old. Old school.
Now let's assume I live to 120, and my parents live to 100. God bless. How do you feel about me having kids at 50 now? And then being able to say, you know what? I enjoyed my life. I ran away with no pants on. I banged anything and everything I wanted to. I took every business risk and didn't give a shit about it. Plus, I had time to like stay like, be in the gym and fucking, dude, I barely have time to get to the gym now and I don't have a wife or kids.
No, if you could,
I don't know how you do it.
If you could accomplish all that you just said,
Yeah.
and live to 120, I would make sure that you get a statue someplace. Because that's an accomplishment.
But if we're
You know?
operating under that assumption, is it okay if I have kids at 50 now? You feel better about that?
Yeah, but don't go past 50 because
All right, that's fine. No, I'm cool with that. I'm okay with that.
yeah, kids 20, 70, you could do that. Yeah.
Yeah, 25, 75. I mean, if I have a kid at 50 and I live to 120, I'm going to be with the kid for 70 years. That's a lot.
I feel like Dr. Phil right now. This is weird.
At the end of it, he might be like, he or she, hopefully he, because I don't want to have girls, because fuck, do you have boys or girls? What
I
do
have
you
two boys.
You have two boys.
Yeah.
Lucky motherfucker. Okay.
Dude, I don't have the player's curse. I've always been a good.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. My brother's got it. Everyone I know's got it. And I know that they all deserve it.
See, we had this
People
conversation.
are going to hate that I just said that, but I mean, if I have a girl next, I'd be so happy.
You know what? I don't believe that. Because all right. So
You don't believe I'd be happy?
No. I don't believe about the player's curse. And this is why. So my buddy, John Healy, who is literally the man that inspired the name Handsome Homebuyer,
Yeah.
is because he's married now with two kids, but he was one of the biggest players I've ever met. 6'4". He looks like Christian Bale in American Psycho, literally.
Really?
Guy has like a 10-inch hammer. I've seen it by accident. Different story, different podcast.
That's his business card.
You know what? I actually never asked him that, but that was fucking awesome that you said that. And that guy crushed. He just crushed his way through. Like, he has sent me videos of just demonic things that every man wants to see and no man wants their daughter to be involved in. And all that guy does is make boys, which kind of proves my theory on how to make boys, which you might like this, is
I think you're going to say he has girls because
2 boys. And this guy's a boy maker.
no, you got to find a guy like that has all girls.
I don't think it really happens. If it is,
Let's be honest, it's bullshit. It's 50-50.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, I'm telling you exactly what
Yeah.
it is. And this is how I know this is exactly what it is, especially in his scenario, because I've seen his dick. Accidentally. All right, short story long.
You had to throw that in there. Yeah.
He lived in Massapequa. He had a boat. I'm on the top of the boat. The boat has 2 stories. I go to the edge. I hear this noise. I'm like, what is that? He's peeing. I look down, and he literally has it like this. Like, he's got 2 hands on it with the tip hanging over. Basically, it's a Pringles can.
Yeah.
So here's my point, but digress, because we talked about this with Kevin on Saturday's podcast, but we had to cut it out because he's very religious or something. So my theory is, and you're going to like this because this is a nod to you, if you have a Pringles can. All right, so male sperm dies quicker, but swims faster, but dies quicker, right?
Yeah.
Female sperm slower, but lasts forever, right? Makes sense. If you have a hammer and you get close to the egg and you spray the egg, you're going to get boys because you're going to get boys. You see where I'm going with this?
Scientifically, no.
I'm pretty sure. And listen, I've done extensive research about this over the last 20 years.
Can you put out a tutorial on this? Because I think
I've asked thousands of men and women this question.
this is interesting, but
All
I
right,
don't know.
so I'm going to go with you. Think about the moment of conception. Close your eyes for a minute.
Okay.
Bring yourself there.
I'm there.
Okay. There has to be certain commonalities.
I feel like I'm on a casting couch. Is this
What was it?
this is weird now?
What was the what are the commonalities? Like what went on?
Is there a reason I'm on a couch and you're not right now?
Because the couch is more comfortable.
I feel like I'm getting punked.
Like was it doggy? Was it like what was it? Like there's got to be something. There's got to be a commonality there.
But you're assuming that like you know when it is. I don't. Who knows? You can't really know.
You're not helping me here.
Yeah, because how would I know?
Share the wealth, bro. You have 2 fucking boys. You got really lucky. You don't have to worry about that whole like every dick chasing your daughter.
Dude, the first one we found out. Second one, she's like, I want to do like a reveal because everyone was doing reveals at that point. I'm like, I don't want to do this.
What kind of reel did you do? The golf ball? What'd you do?
I'm like, I don't want to do this.
The cake?
I'm a hockey player. I'm like, I'm not hitting a baseball.
Oh, that's
I'm
cool.
not hitting a
I didn't
golf
know that.
ball. Yeah, grew up playing hockey.
Me too. Where'd you play?
I grew up in Baldwin.
Okay.
Played all the roller hockey leagues, every roller hockey league on Long Island. And then
Okay.
played ice in the Long Island hockey, all the travel and all that stuff.
No shit. All right. Me too.
I just stopped playing because I had back surgery. I got hurt in an accident, but I'm going back. It's my mission to get back on the ice. So she buys one of these things. We go on the beach. So I didn't want like everyone there and do the whole thing. He didn't want to do it live on Facebook. So she's like, let's just have my sister come. So record it, take our photos. So you have to like pull one of these things.
Yeah.
I was like, it's gonna be a girl. It's gonna be pink. It's gonna be pink shit all over the place. Dude, I think my son pulled it. He was like 2 years old. Blew all over the place. I was so happy. I was so happy
I'd be so fucking happy too.
because a friend of mine did the baseball thing last year,
Okay.
and
But they throw the ball and he hits it with the bat?
yeah, he's a baseball guy.
Got
He
it.
made his wife like practice and practice and practice.
What, practice throwing the pitch?
Oh yeah, like underhand to make sure like she throws it. He whiffs on it, right? Hits the floor, starts rolling down the driveway. Like usually they explode.
Yeah.
It didn't. He does it again ultimately.
Huh?
It's blue. He's covered in blue. Happiest guy in the world.
Girl comes out.
2 weeks later, they go back to the doctor. She's like, "What did they tell you it was?" Guy calls me.
Maybe they just fucked up in the place where they give you the ball.
Dude, her father's head of whatever that department is, pediatrics or whatever at the
The
time.
gynecology.
So he even looked at it and was like, "Yeah, it's a boy." Everybody was wrong.
Wow.
He calls me and he's like crying almost on the phone one day. I'm like, he goes, "We just left the doctor." I'm like, "Oh my God." Like
what's wrong?
Something happened to the baby.
Like something real.
Like straight up, you could tell like they lost the baby.
Wow.
They made a mistake.
Well, he did lose a boy, actually.
It's really a girl. I just was hysterical. Hysterical. I thought it was the funniest thing.
Did he have the kid yet or no?
Yeah. It gets better. He had another girl yesterday on 420, which is great.
A second girl?
Such a pothead. So yeah, he had a second girl yesterday. And this dude's always late. So I'm like, you had your kid's late on 420. This is definitely your child.
Makes sense.
But he has two girls now. And they didn't do the reveal this time. They just cut like a cake or something. Like, you know.
Oh, and it got the blue or the pink inside?
He already whiffed the first time on video on Facebook Live. So it was like the best thing.
Yeah, I really if I could pick, I know that I'll just have a fucking smoking hot daughter and I'll be nuts. Like, I'll be nuts.
Well, being so handsome naturally,
You know, I don't want it.
your daughter's gonna be hot.
Dude, plus I have Sicilian, so we have like cabooses in my family. So there's like a chance that she could have like a Latin ass that you could stand one of these things on, and then I'm gonna have to worry about that because white girls with ass is like a new phenomenon. It's out there now.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know if they bought it or like it's real.
No, it's crazy.
It's actually out of control, the plastic surgery now.
You know what's insane, which I really just learned about the whole. Now, actually, there's you know what Brazilian butt lift is? BBL.
Yes, I was there when you learned what that meant.
No, I learned that last night on TikTok.
BBL.
We were talking about it last week in our meeting.
BBL?
Yeah.
No, Brazilian butt lift. Yeah, but I didn't know it was BBL.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I blocked that. I must have blocked that out.
This guy's a weird ass.
Are you
guy.
on?
He's like, yeah, BBL.
Are you? Well, he's 30. He knows shit. You're 34, but I feel like you're an old soul, dude.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you're like an old Jew inside.
I hang out with like 50, 60-year-old guys too. Like,
yeah.
It's weird. My wife's like, how come all your friends are like our parents' age? I'm like, I don't know.
Well, you meet them through business, obviously.
Yeah, but like I got really good relationships throughout the years with some of these guys, like rock star guys in different businesses that I've learned a lot from.
Yeah, there was that one gentleman that allowed us to use his car and house up in Huntington for the LLS shoot.
Yeah, that guy's one of the wealthiest people in Long Island.
That guy
would
was
never know. Low key, guy owns like 50, 60 properties, like all over the
Nicest guy.
Nicest guy in the world.
Nicest freaking guy.
He's taught me everything about real estate that I know. I mean, it's crazy. And it's weird. Like sometimes, actually, one of my friends is dating my mom's best friend from high school, and he's like 60-something years old.
Wait, hold on. One of your friends is dating your best friend's mother?
My mother's best friend from high school.
Okay.
He's dating her, right?
Okay, that's all right.
So when they met, he figured out, he goes, one of my best friends, you went to high school with his mom. So she's like, what? He goes, yeah, you went to high school with his mom. And he's 60 years old. Wow. My buddy Jamie.
That's pretty cool.
She's like, how, that doesn't make sense. So he's like, yeah, he's 30 years old, 34 years old. You date him, you know? And my mother's like, that's so weird.
That is weird.
And they haven't connected. So I reconnected them through them recently. It was strange, you know?
Do you think, I mean, this might be a little inappropriate, but that's how I am. 60-year-olds meet. Do you think they like bang and stuff the same way that like 24-year-olds, 22-year-olds, 30-year-olds meet?
I think even crazy. Like they don't nonstop.
Actually, my sister worked in a nursing home, and she's like, she would walk in on like 90-year-olds, like rubbing up on each other.
Yeah, I heard that.
Which has got to be insane.
STDs apparently spread through those places like crazy.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes! Are you disturbed by this, Levy? Are you thinking, I can't believe that you guys are talking about this?
I'm on like the Howard Stern radio show or something with everything.
You know what the problem is?
This is great podcast.
I know like a lot, like a little about a lot. And then what I know a lot about, but like I could talk on like any topic. And we're getting on tangents that are just so unexpected right now.
For you and me both.
But
this is what happens when two Jews get together.
Is it?
That's what I think so. Because we're like, I mean, we're kind of wildly inappropriate, but in inappropriate kind of way. We're inappropriately appropriate.
It just can't be serious. I like having a good time and just doing the right thing.
You know what I think we should talk about? Only because we've literally been talking about kids and Deep and John Healy's hammer for 45 minutes. I do want to touch on insurance stuff and more.
By the way, nobody wants to hear about insurance. It's the most boring topic in the world. This is why I never talk about it.
We got to talk about insurance for 5 minutes though, because it's important.
My house burned to the ground.
Yes.
In 2019. My house. I'm the insurance broker.
How was your coverage?
Amazing. Dude, you got to see the house I just built. Didn't cost me a penny. But it was a nightmare. My house burned down. I had to saved my wife and my child getting out of the house while it's on fire.
How the hell this thing
on
go
a
on
Sunday
fire?
morning
Electrical?
at 8:30 in the morning? Yeah.
Wow.
I was in the right place at the right time in the house because she was putting the baby for a nap. I think he got up at like 5:30. We're doing our thing. She put him upstairs at like 8 o'clock for like his first nap. I usually work upstairs in my office and close the door. For some reason, I just took my laptop and I'm sitting in my kitchen on the island. And I noticed like the whole backyard like went black. Like we live by the park in Oceanside. So the geese, they can block out the sun for a minute when they take off. And then it like happened again.
Wait, geese?
Like,
like a flock of geese?
yeah, like they'll shadow the backyard once in a while. So like,
Wow.
that's what I thought it was. And then I'm working and in the corner of my eye, I saw like it again behind the blinds. I'm like, what the hell? So I walk to the back den. I hear the wall sizzling. And I realized,
Like in the wall.
yeah, like in the wall. And I realized that it's all smoke ripping past the blinds. So I know there's a fire on the outside. So I get them out of the house, thinking I'm going to go grab a hose and like run around and put it out or whatever. We get out the front door. The block is blacked out. You cannot see anything.
It's
My whole outside of my house and my roof's on fire.
wow.
And the wind is ripping it down the street. Not a smell in my house. My fire alarm didn't go off. Nothing. It wasn't in the house at that second. As soon as I opened that front door, the whole back wall of that house opened up. Smoke blew out the front door behind us.
Just from the increased oxygen that rushed through the house?
Yeah, that wall had just melted, that back wall.
Wow. Dude, fire's crazy shit.
Within 1 minute, the whole house is in flames. And I'm in the street with her. The baby's half naked. She was changing them. And now it's like 30 degrees and like end of March, it's freezing. And I'm like, it's like shit. Like I have no socks. No, I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt and nobody has anything. I'm like, I got to get him in a car. So I monkey crawl back in, get the keys from the center island.
While the place is burning up.
Under the smoke. Yeah, there was no flames in the kitchen, but it was just blowing through. And go outside, back the car to the driveway and drive them to my dad's, which was 2 blocks away. I'm passing fire trucks. Like trying to like wave to them, like be like, I'm fine, but like they're ignoring me.
Nah.
You know? So I call the fire department. I'm like, we're out of the house. You know, I'll be right back. By the time I get back, the house is just toast. Fire. There's ladders through the front windows. They knocked out the attic with the big ladder trucks, and they're just dumping water.
Yeah, they don't.
My neighbor's house was starting to melt, so they would just had a hose on his house.
There's just one objective when firemen rush in. I feel like it just put it out at any cost.
Yeah, it was so windy. They would have took out the neighborhood. So I dropped them off. I come back and I'm just walking down the street with no socks, no jacket, nothing, and everybody's staring at me they know it's my house. Like I'm just walking towards the fire, and then all the firemen come up to me and they're like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "I don't know." Like it just ran out of the house. Like it just engulfed, you know. So everybody in the world's calling me. Every public adjuster, everybody insurance. It's like, "Is that your house?" You know. I'm like, "Yeah." Like I'm just standing on the lawn staring at my own house burning.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? It's like I know a decent amount of people in the insurance world whose houses have gone on fire.
Yeah, now of course everyone thinks I like burn my own house down, Jewish lightning.
No.
Everyone.
It's just the irony of that would happen.
Yeah.
Like same thing happened to Christina Shaw.
I know.
Right? Like
I know.
she's sitting there, all of a sudden like her fireplace starts like smoldering. She's like, what the fuck? And then whoosh, the whole place.
I talked to her and Jamie about that. Like it was so scary. And then I saw Jamie like 2 weeks later at a restaurant. I'm like, dude, my house was burned down too last week. He's like, what? Like
Jewish light.
it's crazy. So I had a great policy, but I had to elevate the house because it's in a flood zone. I couldn't rebuild the house. You know about the 50%
It's a fucking nightmare.
law.
Yeah.
They
Well,
won't let
it's
you
a
rebuild.
nightmare in the town of Hempstead, yes.
You can't rebuild if it's 50% damaged. So
I feel like there should be an educational piece to this.
we knocked it down and had to build a new house elevated, you know?
So when he says 50%, right? So the way the building department works on this is they have you go down to the assessor's office and you have to pull the assessment amount of like what the house is worth. But they chop it up. So it's partially land value and then partially improvement. So that's the house. So the whole thing could be assessed for 500 grand, but the land could be worth 350 and the house could be worth 150 in their eyes. And if the cost to repair exceeds 75,000, 50% of the 150, you got to raise the house.
Yep.
So I guess now let's get into the coverage of it though. But you had coverage to build to whatever model, because you can have different coverages.
Yeah, a lot of people don't have that coverage.
Yeah.
It's called ordinance or law.
Yep.
So when I look at a policy, if it's a good standard like HO3 homeowners policy, usually by default there'll be 10% ordinance automatically. But it's not enough.
No.
So if it's a $700,000 house in South Merrick, for example, and the rebuild cost is $7,000, you're going to get $70,000 towards code upgrades. You have to raise the house.
Yep.
New foundation, helical piles, hurricane straps. You have to sprinkle the house.
Yeah.
And you're not doing that for $70,000.
No. And then the house is usually jacked up because since they lifted it up, it like cracks every wall.
Right. And then the insurance company will not give you more than $70,000 for those items.
Okay.
It cost me $200 to do the raise, like all that stuff. So I had additional ordinance coverage.
Did you actually raise the house or did you build a new house?
I ended up taking the money that I sold to raise and fix to rebuild.
To build a house.
Yeah. So they didn't pay me to build a new house, but
Wow.
I negotiated the settlement to get enough money to build from scratch.
Because you're Garrett.
You know.
Because you're Garrett Guttenberg, and you know shit.
I know shit, but it's more practical. You know, why would
Of course.
Why would you reframe my house?
Raising a house doesn't make
and
sense.
raise my house
No.
when we could just build it from scratch.
People call me with deals all the time. Just like, it just has to be raised. I'm like, bro, it's gonna be knocked down. It's worth land. They're like, what do you mean? It just has to be raised. I'm like, you're gonna raise like a 3-bedroom ranch. It's gonna cost you $100,000 to raise this ranch. It's gonna be worth fucking nothing. It doesn't make sense.
Imagine
Knock it down, build a house.
It's a house that was fire damaged, so you have to fix all the rafters. You have to fix everything.
Yeah, just knock it down and build a house.
So we took it apart, and then I used the old foundation and I pinned it with helicals, and then we built a new house.
Wow. Use the old foundation?
I used the old footing, pinned it.
Wow.
You know, with the clips,
Was it worth
with
it?
helical clips.
Was it like a big money saver?
Yeah, and just time. Like I'd have to pour a new footing because I was already on grade, so we just used it.
Huh. Interesting.
So that was that.
So how high are you raised?
It's 3 full stories now. So the
Oh, okay. So you
FEMA
have an 8-foot or 10-foot first floor, like
I have
garage.
an 8 foot. The next floor is 9 feet. 9 feet. Yeah. So I have a 4-car garage now, which is the best thing in the world.
Dope.
I had a 2 before, so now you could go all the way back. And then there's like a FEMA level, which will be like a hangout space.
Yeah.
And then the house is on the 2nd and 3rd level.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. And I put an elevator in, which is like the best thing.
Oh,
in the
you have an
world.
elevator? That's a fucking
Dude,
pimp move.
It's a hike to get to 3rd level.
Yeah.
And if someone doesn't want to do steps or can't physically do steps, I can't get them upstairs.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm building a house in Long Beach and it's 3 stories. And I'm like, I'm not putting an elevator in, and I'm putting the kitchen and everything, putting the bedrooms on the 2nd floor, on the like the 1st floor, which is really the 2nd floor. The cream of the Oreo is going to be the bedrooms, and then the top floor is going to be the kitchen and everything, open layout, because I want roof access. Right. And I'm like, do I want to put an elevator in?
At least throw a shaft in if you're not going to do the elevator, because somebody eventually will want it.
They're not that expensive, I heard.
The elevator?
I heard they're like 25, 30 grand. Is that true?
Yeah.
Or is that a lie?
I just paid like 28 for mine. And it's like a beautiful finished oak cab. Like it's fancy, and I'm like embarrassed because I was like, you have an elevator? And I'm like, well, my wife has to get to the kitchen.
Bro, you don't need to explain shit to anybody. Fuck these people. They're just pissed off that they don't have an elevator.
But everyone breaks my balls about the elevator.
That's a pimp freaking move.
I'm like, my father's got MS. Like, he can't even walk up my steps. So like, fuck you. You know?
I'm just thinking about that from like a singles man standpoint, or like, a girlfriend standpoint. You're upstairs, you're cooking dinner, your girl's coming over. She gets out of the elevator, just boom, elevator opens up. She's wearing like a thong or basically nothing, or like a trench coat with nothing underneath it.
Yeah.
No? Nobody. Good.
Listen,
No?
it's not like in the middle, I'm going to wake up and be like, I'm going to get a scotch. And I get in the elevator and like take it to the 2nd floor to my bar. Like, these are the things that people are telling me, like, that I'm a dick. I'm like, you're a dick because one of my partners is paraplegic. If I want him to come over, he can't get in my kitchen level. So I'm like, I got to put him in the elevator.
I mean, we can, even from like the level of, all right, my wife went to the supermarket and got groceries. She's got like 15 bags of groceries because you have 3 kids, right?
Yeah.
Or you'll have 3 kids eventually. You definitely
Why don't
have
you have a kid before you start pushing another one on me?
There's no way that I'm going to have a kid before you have a 3rd kid.
Ooh. You want to make a bet?
All right. What are we going to bet?
We got to think about this a little harder. We'll come back to this.
No, we got to do it on the podcast.
I don't know.
It's got to be etched.
I got to think of a good bet. Like, I'm not going to just think about
What's your favorite place to go to dinner?
No, this is not going to be just a dinner bet.
Oh, it's got to be a bigger level than that?
Yeah, I'll think about it.
All right, you think about it. You let me know.
Okay.
But there's going to be some kind of bet. We'll update it on the podcast when we edit it
It's
in.
not just Jimmy Hayes dinner. Like, no, this is going to be
I
good.
actually really like Jimmy
It's one of my
Hayes.
favorite places, actually.
I really love Jimmy Hayes. I haven't been there in a while. But
All right, so we'll go there. We'll go there and we'll come up with the bet.
your wife's got 15 bags of groceries. She's got to haul it up 3 stories, which
Yeah.
sucks. I think I'm going to call James Joyce after this and put that elevator in. I really do.
Dude, you have to.
I really do. He's like, you should really do it. I'm like, the market. Like, as far as the market goes, like the market doesn't care. Like those things are still selling for like.
No, it makes a difference because people have elderly family members that can't get upstairs. It makes a big difference. I'm telling you.
They're still.
James just drew one for this house I was telling you about. I mean, he's both of them.
I don't know if I have a place to put it now. I got to look at this drawing.
Listen,
I just set
case,
the layout so nice.
You could put one of those lifts on the outside as a worst case.
Not at Long Beach on a 30 by 60 lot, bro.
Yeah, you'll get a variance for it.
Yeah?
Because it's handicap. For handicap purposes. Yeah.
All right.
They're outside, but worst case.
They're still selling over there for like $950 to 1.2.
I know.
It's insane.
Dude, I sold a couple of bungalows.
Yeah.
For like $450.
Bro, I just paid.
In 2018, I thought it was like a home run. I was like, why did I get rid of those?
I just got a sick. I just bought a freaking right where the beach house is down in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I bought the shack that I'm knocking down for $350,000. $350,000 to knock down to build a house. I mean, that's a great deal.
Now it is, yeah.
Now, but it's insane when you think about it. Like it's fucking insane.
I look at the houses, I pass them all the time, and I'm like, why did I sell that? I mean, I know like at the time it made sense, but it's like it's out of control. They're like $600,000 now.
They're selling for like $550,000 those things.
Yeah.
I've seen it selling for like $550,000. So the important thing is you had adequate insurance coverage.
My insurance, that was like the last thing on my mind was my insurance because I mean I wrote the policy. I knew I had a good policy, but just having to like go through it. This is 2 years I'm out of the house and I'm moving in next week. So we're like finally finished. But the town of Hempstead, the holdups, the material.
Fucking nightmare.
It's been a nightmare.
Total fucking nightmare. But back on the insurance tip.
Yeah.
For 2 years with proper coverage, they've been paying for you for a place to live.
Yeah, we have a duplex in Long Beach.
That they're paying for.
Oceanfront, yeah.
That they're paying for.
Sweet apartment. And I have like almost unlimited rent coverage in the policy, which a lot of people exhaust, but there's ways to add little endorsements to just make sure it never goes away. Like Allstate, for example. I saw a policy the other day. They give you up to 12 months ALS, actual loss sustained, or ALE money.
Got it.
Only 12 months. I would have been...
No, you've been screwed.
I've been sucking wind. And most fires...
It probably takes 6 months just to like resolve the claim before you can even start the build.
We didn't knock the
before
house.
you can even get plans to start the build.
I didn't knock the house down for a year.
Yeah.
I just sat there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, try to get... we're knocking houses down now. You have to give them a blood sample, a urine sample. I mean, you have to do so many things just to get a permit to knock something down. It's insane. Rodent letter.
Dude, the disconnects, and then to get everything turned back on.
Dude, it's crazy. If there's a house, like I'm knocking down a house in Belmore right now, we're about to knock it down, and they're like, oh, you can't do it. You need National Grid disconnect. I'm like, we don't have National Grid disconnect. Like, there's no National Grid there. Like, no. We need a letter from National Grid saying that there was never gas there.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, what the fuck? Nobody puts oil in. There's no National Grid there. There's no meter there. There's nothing there. There's no record of it. We need a letter.
Yeah.
It takes National Grid fucking 6 weeks to get you a letter.
It's unbelievable.
It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
It really is.
The holdups, I can't even imagine your business like that. Like,
it's a fucking.
It's just all delays. Everything's just being delayed.
Dude, it's an absolute nightmare. And you have to like hire people. Like I have to hire somebody to work in the construction company now who's so anal retentively organized.
Yeah.
And just to have them badger people all day, 5 days a week. Like, how nuts is that?
If you bother them enough, they'll just give you what you need at the department. Like, I've learned that.
But it's not just them, it's everybody. And there's so many pieces to like what we do. There's so many things that are just floating around that it's really hard. And all those things cause delays, and delays cost big money because when you're carrying a house and you're paying private money, it's like $100 to $300 a day.
It's a lot of money
that you're burning in these places.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's nuts. So it's fucking hard. It's like, I don't know, we were talking about it before. It's like, I wish the building departments would just make it easy for you to give them money.
They don't have the manpower. That's really what it is. They don't have the staff, I don't think.
It's not, I don't think it's that.
There's not enough people working there.
It's so much. It's a fucking
I've seen
mess.
the files in those offices. It's just, the guys can't get to them. They're working even overtime. They work like weekends now, the building department. Saturdays, they've got you could pay extra to like get your plans approved on a Saturday, right?
Nah, you can't. They had this thing called, they started, a couple years ago, they had this thing called expedited permits where you'd pay for like an
I thought it was a weekend thing.
No. They had this thing where they said they'd guarantee you like, that they would get back to you for like $100 within 3 days. And obviously everybody did it because it's $100.
Yeah.
If they would have charged $1,000, less people would have done it. Like that's what they should have done, or $1,500, and then staff accordingly. But these places are run like shit, dude. Listen, the government doesn't really do anything right. Probably military. The government does the military right. What else is the government?
Well, when you have no budget, you can do anything you want.
Yeah, but still, like,
But they spend money and get things done. That's the military.
what other government agency do you feel is run well?
The IRS.
I mean, they're totally understaffed. They got like 3 people in there. I heard.
Joking.
Oh.
They got one mission and they get you money. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
No, what divisions run well?
Yeah, think about it. I say privatize everything.
Yeah.
I think we should privatize the building department. Privatize the
It
building.
could be, and then it would run better. Yeah.
Dude, they should freaking privatize everything. Give the government like a rev share, privatize the building department. Bro, that thing would be smooth.
But you still need the board for variances and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's different.
Yeah.
That's different. When you're talking about like, those are political matters. Like if you're going to town board,
Yeah.
because they're sandbagging my my Oceanside redevelopment,
Yep.
dicks. That's a different story. But as far as like processing building permits, that should be.
Listen, American Water's privatized now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's a private company. Like,
Yeah, but that's kind of crazy too.
I mean, it
Only because of the whole
could
monopoly
run
aspect.
better. You know, it just can. But they're controlled, like pricing and stuff like that.
Did you know that National Grid has a VC arm?
No.
You believe that shit?
That's what they're doing with the money.
They have a VC arm.
So they're just ripping us off and lending it.
So my buddy who's doing the 3D
didn't know
printer,
this. Yeah.
gets a call that they have a VC arm.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
But they're not privatized, right?
no, it's like government money. I hope I'm not talking out of my
Who
ass.
do
right
they lend the money to?
Like-
Probably government development.
now. No, tech, like different types of.
Really?
I don't know enough about this. I have to look into this. So I might be full of shit right now, but that is what I heard.
So it's like a Nat Grid hedge fund.
Basically,
I never heard
like
of it.
a Nat Grid private equity fund.
Interesting.
Like there's like Yale grads investing like gas money back there. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's fucking
It could
crazy.
be a rumor, but I don't know.
I don't know. The point is the system's broken, but it's very important to be working with somebody like Garrett Guttenberg who understands every aspect of the insurance world, because if you get a fucked up policy, like tell the story about that lady. I get a call,
Oh, yeah.
right? I get a lead. Lady calls me. She's got like a townhouse attached thing out in Calverton. She's like, it went on fire. I want to sell it. So I'm like, awesome. I went out there. I mean, it's not awesome that it went on fire, but it is kind of awesome that it went on fire.
It's a sad story, too.
So she calls, I go out there and I'm like, listen, have you talked to a public adjuster? I'm like, let me hook you up with my buddy Garrett because he's the fucking trifecta. He's a sniper and all that stuff. And
Navy SEAL of insurance.
Yeah, Navy SEAL of insurance. And Navy SEAL sniper of insurance.
That's awesome.
So you guys talk, and what happened?
Navy SEALs get wet, man. So it was a good play. So what happened? Somebody wrote her what's called an HO6 policy, which is a condominium form policy. When you own a condo, you don't insure the outside of the building. The master policy writes the structure. You insure walls in coverage. Okay. So if there's a fire, they'll give you a vanilla apartment back, and you have to rebuild your kitchens, your bathrooms, and the unit.
Yeah.
She didn't have a condo, and she had a condominium policy. She needed to write herself a homeowner's policy covering everything inside, outside. So she was short like $200,000 in coverage.
Yep.
They offered her $70,000 for a $250,000 fire.
And the place is worth like, I would have paid like $25,000 now.
Yeah.
Because all in, that place is worth like $200,000 when it's done.
And I really tried helping her. Every time she called me, she had a pigeon on her shoulder. So like every call.
I'm so pissed I didn't get, I'm so
Every
pissed
call.
you didn't record that.
So I'm like, I'm trying to talk to this lady, and she's a little older, but it's like, So first call, I said, "Is there like a bird or something?" She's like, "Yeah, my pigeon or whatever." She's like, "He's 17 years old." So every call, it was like, I'm like trying to listen to every word she's saying, and it's impossible.
Do the pigeon again.
I can't.
Do it.
She's like, so I'm like, is that a pigeon? She's like, he's a dove. I'm like, that's a white pigeon, but but she, yeah, so she didn't have the right coverage. Broker wrote her the wrong policy.
And she's screwed.
She's screwed. The only way to fix it is go after the broker, which sucks,
Yeah.
But in that case, I don't know if the broker was wrong because she told me she thought she had a condo too. So if someone calls me and they tell me I have a condo, there's no way for me to verify it.
There's nothing to verify?
How would I verify it?
Deed, public record, something?
It's not required insurance. We don't get deeds. I don't get anything. And I Googled the address and it says condominiums on like real estate listings, but it's not. So somebody screwed up and this lady's going to lose a ton of money. So You don't want that stuff to happen.
The moral of the story is you need proper coverage. Don't be a cheap bastard. Insurance is the cheapest thing out there for what it is.
When you're buying a house, people are always like, I want the cheapest insurance policy. They want to close on the mortgage. So you're buying your most valuable asset that A, you can't afford because you're taking a loan. Otherwise, you'd pay cash. And you want to underinsure it, and you want the cheapest policy. How does that make any sense?
It doesn't make any sense. It's like when people call me up and they're like, I mean, listen, people do it with my houses. Like, I'm selling a new construction house in Baldwin, took an offer yesterday.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we're not doing a home inspection. I'm like, they're like, we don't need to spend money on a home inspection. I'm like, bro, you just bought a $640,000 house.
That's the mentality. That's the problem.
I'm like, it's $500 for a fucking home inspection. What are you thinking right now?
So picture that mentality, and these people call us sometimes, and I'm like, why would you take the cheapest policy? Well, my mortgage broker said, it's got to be my DTI and whatever. I'm like, let me quote you the proper policy. I'll talk to the mortgage guy.
It's like $300 more.
We'll make it work. And it's not always more. It's just, you can't just say, I'm going chopping on price because you don't know what you're buying. Like, I'll put 5 insurance quotes together from other brokers and I'll lay them out. Not one of them are the same. They're all different. There's so many endorsements and little things you can put on policies that get you paid.
But see, this is the thing that insurance that I feel is missing, right? Because listen, I have never, I'm a classically trained salesman, right? I was trained by a guy who sold Electrolux vacuum cleaners door to door in the 70s.
Yeah.
So there's parts of the sales process, which is like, there's an educational component. There's a qualification component of questions and shit like that, right? I feel like I have never in my entire life, other than you, had somebody quote me an insurance policy and explain the policy. Be like, here's 5 policies. They can range from freaking $800 to $1,500, and here's the difference. Which one do you want?
If you're not doing that, then what are you doing? Just, you're a machine, right?
Nobody does that. You're a machine.
I'm not an order taker. Like, people will call me, get me quote, blah, blah, like, we need it now. I'm like, call Geico. Like, I'm busy. Like, I will get to it. It's going to take me a couple of days. I got a line of people in front of you that I'm working hard to get them the right policies for their purchase. I'm like, I've said this to people many times. Like, why can't you give me a quote fast? I'm like, did you ever make a reservation at a restaurant? Yeah. Why would you wait, for your reservation when you can go eat anywhere? Well, that restaurant has got good food and I want.
Oh, this is a good one. I like this one.
I'm like, okay. So you're waiting because you want that good food. I'm like, I'm the restaurant. I'm a good restaurant, right?
I'm Rayos.
I'm Rayos. I don't have a restaurant for 3 weeks. I mean, a reservation for 3 weeks. Is it like 3 weeks or Rayos like 3 months?
No, you can't even get into Rayos.
It's like years.
You can't even get into Rayos. Yeah.
I can get into Rayos.
Can you?
Yes.
Really? Somebody has to, they own the tables there. So you have to know someone that owns the table.
I get you into Rayos, but
really?
We're going to have to, I don't know if it's going to be like a 3-month wait or what, but we'll get in.
If you have a kid before me, we're going to Rayos.
Okay. Deal.
What happens if I have a kid before you?
We're going to Rayos.
All right. Either way, this is a fucking win for me.
One of us is picking up the check. I guess.
All right, done.
That's easy.
I don't even think Rayos is really expensive.
It's not cheap.
Is it? It's not like crazy money.
No, it's not. It's like no.
It's not like $1,000 a person. I don't or something think so. Like crazy.
No, yeah. It's like probably $150 a head by the time you know. Oh yeah. So I tell people, I go, you're gonna wait because I'm gonna do a good job and I'm gonna do my job. I'm like, if you need a quote right this second, call somebody else. Like, yeah, I don't want that kind of client. Someone that's gonna rush me. Man. Yeah, like. We shop markets. I'm not Allstate. You call Allstate, they only can give you an Allstate policy.
Yeah. Or
State Farm or Geico. They're insurance companies. I'm a broker. I'm going to shop 20 different programs. Home, auto, try to package it. I mean, I need a couple of days to do this. It's not like you don't plug it in and it doesn't give you 30 quotes from every company.
So do you find your clients are typically, it's like the 80-20 principle. So you'll get like 80% of the aggravation from those type of clients that are like one and done. I just want my home insurance. That's it. Or do you tend to, because of you're almost like a little bit like white glove boutique-ish, do your people end up being like more business people that have, real estate and assets and like basically you'll have like 20 policies with them versus?
It's a mix. So
okay,
my residential business, most times I get the call on the flood insurance. Real estate broker sends them, quote the flood insurance. We'll start with that. And then I'll go, okay, let me work on the homeowners. And a lot of times they already have quotes and I'll beat the quotes and I'll write better coverage. They don't have ordinance of law. I get all the time. The brokers do not put ordinance of law on a house in a flood zone. I see it all the time. So I explain, I go, my house burned down in the flood zone. I go through it. if this house burns down and you took that policy, you'll lose 200,000, 150,000. They're like, why didn't the broker put it on? Because he doesn't write in the flood zones. He just wrote your policy. He's not doing it every single minute of the day, you know? And then that's the residential side. My business side, I'm writing a lot of contractors. I write mom and pop restaurants, barbershops. You know, we got guys, plumbing company with multiple trucks, condo co-ops on the boardwalk. I write things on Dune Road, Montauk, on the ocean. You know, crazy stuff that nobody could write.
Tell the story about the guy who called you was closing the next day and he couldn't get insurance anywhere.
Oh, so yeah, last week, insurance broker gave me a call. He said he's got a big client. Nobody can get him insurance. He went to everybody out east. This is a Montauk deal. It's 4 buildings, frame construction on the ocean, VE flood zone, which is a high velocity flood zone.
I've never even heard of that.
VE, anything on the ocean is generally going to be VE.
Okay.
Means waves can hit it, high velocity. It doesn't get worse because when you have a storm, frame buildings and a VE are getting washed down the block. So it's a crazy restaurant club. It's 19 or 20 unit residential, single family house, and then there's another building on the property.
What's your Instagram handle?
The flood broker.
There we go.
So guy says, I cannot find anybody write this. I'm going to lose $700,000 by 11 a.m. in escrow if we do not get the insurance. I'm like, all right, so now you're gonna lose $700,000 if I can't get this done for you in 12 hours. I'll take it. I'm like, I will make sure that you have insurance. He's like, how? I'm like, I got this. I started working on it at 3:00 in the afternoon. Now I'm dealing with all my underwriters in London. So I got the time differences. I worked all night, waited for them to wake up in London, and I was on top of these guys from like 9, 10, 11 o'clock. And we got it done. I wrote, how many policies? I wrote 12 policies for this guy to get this deal done.
Just because of all different structures and stuff?
All different buildings. I had to write them separately. Property. Liability on every building.
Okay.
Then last second, the bank wants 10 million umbrellas. So I had to write a 5 and a 5. And then I had to write flood on every building. So the amount of paperwork that was getting moved across my desk to get this deal done, I had to get the bank in evidence on 12 policies and paid bills. He had to wire me the money. It was one of the most insane deals I've ever actually like been a part of. But I said, I'm like, I will not let you lose $700,000. There's no way. Like, I'm gonna get it done. And he called me yesterday. They just
whatever it takes.
They just bought another property in Montauk yesterday. He goes, I need you to do it again. I'm like, no problem. Is there any? He goes, there's no $700,000 on the line. So I was like, can I get it done tomorrow? So I'm gonna work on it today.
But that's how you earn. That's how you earn someone's business.
Yeah, and his current broker just said, I don't know. And luckily, he reached out to a friend of mine who does construction insurance only. He goes, you got to call a flood guy. Like, and we spoke, and I was like, this is a nightmare. I'm like, I could do this in 2 days. Like, I'll get it done. He's like, I got 11 hours or 12 hours. Why lose $700,000? I'm like, that's a serious ask, you know? Like, I'm like, now I'm like on the hook. The guy will hate me for the rest of my life too if I don't get it done.
You have to hate himself. I mean, 12 hours, that's not your fault.
Well, I said, I'm going to do it. I'll do it.
Whatever it takes.
You know what I mean? So I stayed up all night. I had my guys in Florida up all night also, dealing with London, and we got it done. But what a nightmare. And London, those underwriters in London, like sipping their tea. They don't return your call right away. There's no urgency.
Yeah, different culture.
Yeah, like they'll get back to you when they get the quotes done. We called them 100 times, like legitimately.
They must hate your guts.
I placed a lot of business though. They made money, but they don't care about time frames, you know. So it's all investor money. They have to like get it approved, and do we want the risk, and like frame construction on the ocean. They're like, you know, like I wouldn't. Would you put your money on it?
No. Well, I mean, I guess it really depends.
I mean, they are gonna float away if you get a storm. Like
at some point, at one point.
VE flood zone, man. Like it means like.
But
12-foot waves.
At some point, they can just not renew the policy if they don't want to, right?
What they'll do is on renewal, they'll be like, it's this much. You want to take it or you don't? You know, they can control this. With non-admitted companies, there's no control by the state. So they can't control their increasing. They can't control anything. So New York State, admitted programs,
yeah,
they have to apply for increases every year. And it has to get approved by the insurance board. So you can't just screw people with standard companies.
Wow.
Lloyd's of London, it's a bunch of VC guys sitting around sipping their tea, like, all right, we'll throw 100 million here, we'll throw 100 million there. They make it. There's no claims. Next year, they're like, all right, we'll take it again, or we'll put like a 25% increase on it.
Wow.
So we shop these policies every year. It's a lot of work. It really is. And you have to have a lot of different markets to shop.
Yeah, you need relationships and staff, and it's
All
a lot of work.
relationships. I got these guys working like all night. Didn't have to do that, but I was like, I need help. I really need help. This guy in Florida stayed up all night with me, and he was on London all night.
That was really nice.
Yeah.
He's coming to Rayo's with us.
He just moved to Florida from here, so he's in Florida now.
I'm sure he'll fly up for Rayo's.
He probably would.
We've been talking for like 2 fucking hours.
What time is it?
9:30. I loved it. It was
Time
insane
flies
as
when you're
hell.
having fun.
But usually like, yeah, we're in the hour and a half. Usually I cut it like 45 minutes because I'm like, people are tired of hearing from us. But I think there was a ton of educational knowledge in this from all
No, that was
aspects of Steve Guttenberg to John Healy's hammer to obviously insurance. So, dude, you're the man. I appreciate everything you've done for me.
This was fun. This is my first podcast, by the way.
And you went the distance. This is the longest podcast in Handsome Homebuyer history, and we've done well over 100 plus of these things. So
That was a good time.
That's a nod to you, my
Thanks.
friend. Rayo's, we're going there. Either you're having a kid or I'm having a kid, but either way, we're going to Rayo's.
I got to ask you one question.
Sure.
How has this pandemic affected you being so handsome and having to cover your face?
I just don't do it. I'm like in my office. Like I don't go out in really public, so like I don't really have to wear a mask that much. Like I basically lock myself in my little office here. And if I'm going into houses, they're so toxic that it doesn't even matter, and I'm by myself. Right. So I was really unaffected by COVID that much.
Because I feel like handsome people, no one knows good looking people are good looking now with the masks.
You know what's fucking weird though?
You know?
No, like if you see a hot girl with a mask, I mean, it's pretty rare to have a girl pull a mask off that you thought was smoking hot and be like, ugh.
You know, you go somewhere and like some guy's got a nice smile and it doesn't work anymore. You can't walk up to the counter somewhere and charm a girl. So you got to like pull your mask down and be like, look, I'm still handsome. And you got to put your mask back on.
Dude, but in COVID, nobody even wants to touch it.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a valid point. But he doesn't go out, so.
No, I don't go out. That's why I'm like, I don't really need it because I don't really go out. I will tell you the one thing though. I went out to a furniture store to get furniture for my apartment. And I had the mask on and I had that wool hat on. And all you could see was my eyes. And I walked in the door and the guy looked at me and says, "Oh, the handsome guy from TV." I'm like, how the fuck do you know that? Did I tell you that story?
No.
In your eyes.
That's exactly what he said. He's like, "It's in your eyes." I'm like, dude, that's fucking creepy.
Yeah.
That is fucking creepy.
It's because the guy said
So, you don't even have to smile at him sometimes. Sometimes you just have to give him like the handsome stare.
What about that phone call you got yesterday? Was that real?
Yeah, it was real.
That's why I said you made it if you're getting calls like that. Like you did.
Either that or I'm getting pranked by a 16-year-old girl.
That wasn't a 16-year-old girl.
No, that wasn't actually.
That was a woman with like she was dead serious. We'll see if you get more, then you'll know if it's like someone messing with you.
That could be a one and done. We'll see. But that commercial is doing good. Kudos to Levy,
Thank you.
who edited that bad boy.
Try.
I haven't seen the new one.
Oh yeah, it says I'm quick, I'm easy, I'm a good time.
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
That's what it is.
It's on TV?
Yeah. It's on TV. It's everywhere. It's on the internet. It's all over the fucking place.
My son liked the little like Elf one with the Christmas one.
Ah,
That's my favorite
that was
one.
Levy's
That was a good
literal masterpiece. Literal masterpiece.
That was
So
like-
I worked all day.
Like, I know that
It was like
crazy
the Elf on the
bastard.
shelf, you know, it was cool.
That was awesome. I don't even know how the hell that happened.
Dude, that whole shoot took like probably 10, 15 minutes.
The editing
But
took, like-
editing took literally, I was like, Charles, don't bother me all day. Took all day.
Nah, it was good.
I think it was more than a day.
More or less.
That was a lot. That was a
Dude,
lot of
once
work,
you-
bro.
Once you make it to News 12, like you made it, you know? I know you pay for it, but like, you know, still, like it's good.
Yeah, it's cool. People congratulate me like, I saw your commercial. Congratulations. I'm like, bro, if you pay, you can fucking be on News 12. They'll let you like run
Right?
around.
It's like you could pay like $30 for like the 3 AM little time slot, like right? They give you good deals sometimes.
yeah, on the late
I've
nights.
looked into it, yeah.
It's freaking expensive though. TV's
Yeah,
expensive.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But and you just got to quantify it to make sure that this works. But if people are looking to get in touch with you, if they need insurance, if they need a public adjuster, how do they get in touch with you?
Facebook, Garrett Guttenberg, or Instagram, The Flood Broker. And otherwise, just
What's the office number?
516-432-9245. It should be like something cool like flood or something, but
You probably can't get that.
yeah, we just
It's probably like
we've
nearly
had this phone
impossible
number
to
for
get.
so long. It's like we've never done it. So
No, you could do. Flood guy's too many. The flood. No.
you know what? We really write everything, so it's just like
Oh yeah, that's true.
I mean, but we do write a lot of flood insurance.
And obviously, if you have a house that stinks like cat pee, dated from the 1960s, I want to buy it. 516-777 sold. And if you need permits, and Lord knows if you're on Long Island and you're doing anything real estate related, you need permits. Call the captain, 516-513-8838. That's a wrap.